What's going on, Sports Basement? Matt here, Belgian Waffle Ride 2023 in the bag. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was down in San Diego with some of my closest pals. We did BWR 2023 and it was amazing. So in this video, we're gonna do a recap of one of the biggest and best gravel races in California. So we're gonna check in with folks who did the race, see how they're doing beforehand, how it went afterwards, and just see how it all went. So this is gonna be a good one. Sit back, relax, and let's get into it. All right, so I am going to head down to San Diego for Belgian Waffle Ride, and this year I'm flying down, so I am going to pack my bike in a bike bag, which I rented from Sports Basement. So let's see what that looks like.
Packing this bike for travel was really easy and really secure. Would definitely recommend it.
Just like that, easy peasy, bike in a bag. Whoop, don't tip over now.
This was the first time I'd flown with a bike, and it made it down to San Marcos no problem at all. Rebuilding was a breeze. This bag is awesome. Would definitely recommend it if you don't have a bag to travel with. So this year I came down to Belgian Waffle Ride with 12 friends who were all doing the race. We stayed at this massive house in San Marcos, which was just awesome. It was a great way to prep the bikes and just make sure that we were all ready to race on Sunday. So the day before the race, the expo happens. The expo is a great way to go and get yourself registered for the race. You can get free gear and last minute supplies that you might need ahead of the race. It's also just a really fun time to get excited about the race itself. Time well spent for sure.
That's just getting
This guy loves coffee.
Oh, that's actually really good. I like that actually.
Oh yeah.
All right, so the expo was awesome. Now let's go see how the riders are feeling the day before BWR.
Got bugs at the bottom of the pool, bro. The thing that helped me prepare for the race tomorrow, I think is I listened to my body more. I did not doing overtraining. I tried to incorporate more cross training. You know, I was doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of these at the same time. If you're not tucking your shirt in, you're not gonna be fast on a bike, okay? You can't just be having your shirt flap around, getting caught on guardrails and whatnot. Tuck your shirt in, man. Okay.
Okay, NPR in the house.
This is Ann Goldberg coming at you live from KCR.
Oh, dude.
So for me, preparation is just having a good base, being a reasonably fit cyclist, having a vague idea of the terrain I might be riding, a sense of curiosity. I don't know, just being ready to go around and find out.
Training rides, definitely. Long training ride. Eat early and eat often. So you want to make sure you're keeping up with the nutrition and you don't fall behind. When you're on long training rides, you learn how to do that, learn what sits well with your stomach, learn what keeps you going and energetic. Hey, it's nice outside now. Get outside on your bike, get riding, dude.
Gravel cooking show, BWR. Honestly, just train more than I normally do. A lot of indoor cycling, because that's where I have the most time to do that. I also did a bunch of rides up in the Marin Headlands on some of the gravel trails up there. All right, I gotta test the pasta. I think it's ready, al dente.
Well, who are you? Tell the people just brief intro.
Who am I? Yeah. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's my life mission. Enjoying the race, even though there's gonna be some hard moments, everyone's there to have a good time, you know? And there'll be some type 2 fun moments where you're like, why the F am I doing this? But at the end of the day, you're gonna be super stoked that you pushed yourself a little bit further.
All right, BWR 2023, we're back, baby.
Okay, here we are, race day. So we lined up 7 a.m., start time for Belgian Waffle Ride, and the ride started out great. You roll out on cement. There's a couple of big hills to sort of separate the group right off the bat, and my strategy for this race was to just conserve energy the whole time. Last year, I went too hard in the beginning trying to keep up with people who are faster than me and ended up burning myself out for the second half of the race. So this year my strategy was go at a pace I know I can maintain on the flats and on the uphills, and try and make up ground where possible on the downhills and on the gravel technical sections, which I'm slightly better at. So the morning started off a little bit cloudy. The temperature was nice. It was in the mid 60s. And the trail was great. It was mostly the same as last year with some new sections. There were definitely some chunky bits mixed in here, but overall it was just a really good day out on the bike. Right here I was trying to get around somebody. and just had a very low speed, casual tip over. Just got up and kept going. It was all good. This section I was able to ride it last year because there were not people all around me. This year, you know, most people were not comfortable riding this, and so had to walk it, which is a bit of a bummer. It's really not that technical, but for people who maybe don't have a mountain biking background, it can be a bit sketchy. You know, in California this year, there's been a ton of rain, and so there were water crossings all throughout this race. Some of them were kind of intense, like this one, where you kind of got to muscle up a steep hill, steep slippery hill on the other side. Others were just like big puddles across the road. Honestly, it just made the course more fun and more interesting. I think one of the other features this year is that there was less sand. There wasn't like the big sand pit like there was last year, but there were more sections of road that just had sand strewn about, which we'll see here. But yeah, it was just so fun, like riding in a pack of people like this, just getting to, you know, rip around on these courses. One of the other big features, there were bridges all over the place for BWR. This was one of the bridges, kind of did a little wheelie off of it, which was fun. Here's another section, so you can see there's sand everywhere here, and the name of the game is just finding a line that is more solid so that you don't get bogged down in the sand, can maintain your momentum. Right here, there's a sand pit. So one tip for people riding sand, never try to turn while you're riding sand. If you see sand ahead of you, your best bet is to go as fast as possible, keep a straight line, and lean your weight back slightly. And that way you will sort of hopefully glide across the top of the sand instead of getting bogged down and tipping over. If there's too much sand, like that's kind of inevitable, but if you've only got small patches, speed in a straight line is your friend. All right, here we reconnected with some of the other gravel boys and girls. Austin and Alex were doing the wafer, and so we rode with them a bit. And it was great. We were motoring along at this point. All right, let's check in the action at the what the pros coming up here. All right, we're right here. I think it's probably for me like the 50-ish mile mark. There's just like a police motorcade that went by. That means the pros are like probably 60 seconds down the road. All right, here they go. Let's go, let's go! Woo! Great, yeah!
Oh yeah. Dude, my feet were too dry anyway, you know?
I left my GoPro on for most of the race, so I don't have a ton more GoPro footage, but I've got some iPhone footage of some action that happened up in Black's Canyon. So let's check that out.
About 60 miles in, started the Black Canyon climb. Yeehaw! Yeehaw! It's Brandon, Tien, and I. And up we go. Things are better than last year up to this point. We'll see if that trend continues. Sports Basement, it's not a ride without a crash. Beamed my lip on the ground here, but that's all right.
Still pretty. Still beautiful.
Still look good. It does hurt. All right, Sports Basement. Damn, my lip is busted. 90-mile mark. Got the crew here. It's going, it's going much better than last year. Feeling good. Hopefully get this thing done before 6 p.m. Here we go.
All right, and we got the race done by 6 p.m. indeed. Finished this race in about 10 hours, 38 minutes. Was literally an hour faster than my time last year, which was super cool. And most importantly, I just felt better during this race. It felt good essentially the whole time while riding the bike versus last year I was just in the pain cave for hours. So pacing played a huge role. Let's check it out. Let's hear from some of the folks who finished and see what they thought of this thing.
How the race went. This is how the race went. So I actually finished it this year, so I'm very happy about that. Be able to take the things I learned from failing it last year, not being able to finish past the 80-mile mark, to actually doing the whole thing and not feeling really that bad the whole time. So that's how it went.
The race was good. I thought it was going to be a lot of type 1 fun, but it turned out to be majority type 2 fun. I was happy with my setup. I think the worst thing was I used my road pedals, and the sand really jammed up those, and so I was struggling up some hills with unclipped pedals. Other than that, I felt pretty good. So
I'm feeling good today. Not too sore. My quads are a little bit tired. Got some good sleep last night. I only did the 80-mile wafer, so I didn't do the big kahuna. but I did what was, I think, comfortable within my skill set and my endurance race, and I think I raced really well.
It went well, and I feel good. This whole thing was a challenge for me. I only did the half distance, but this was like my third gravel ride ever, so the whole thing was a challenge and a new experience in terms of a mass start event like that. Like when you have like 500 people behind you on a single track gravel trail, really the only place you can go is forward. So you might as well just keep going.
We have just successfully completed the Belgian Waffle Ride 2023. I think the thing I was least prepared for was, again, the technical sections. I'm getting filmed by Josh as we speak. The technical sections of this ride were incredibly challenging. The technical section of this ride, you know, I crashed again going down Black Canyon. You know, just got overconfident, was feeling good, and just ended up on some hard or loose over hard and just lost my front wheel. So, you know, lost a little bit of skin on the elbow, kind of nicked my cheek here, but overall, it was just a fantastic day on the bicycle. This hot tub isn't even warm. All right, so Sports Basement. I think my final tip for you is, as a beginner getting into your first gravel race, you know, the most important thing is just go out there and do it. If you've been interested or curious in signing up for a gravel race, no time like the present. Get out there, ride your bike, have a good time. We'll see you out there on the trail, Sports Basement. Yeehaw!